This land is your land, and this land is my land. From the California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. As I went a-walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden path.
Who am I? What is the New Island Party? Well, I'm Anne Sweeney and I manage the Carrigrua Hotel in Dunfanaghy after having spent 20 odd years in England in the 70s and 80s at the height of the Depression there. The New Island Party is a collection of free thinkers that come together for the greater good. It's like fantasy football. There is no membership and you cannot join. The decisions are based on the issue in hand. Indeed, it's not that different from the current position that the independents hold, except that there will be more people doing it. Individuals need to be able to draw down an election fund of, we'll say, €5,000 per person from central government, and that needs to be the cap spent on electioneering. This would ensure that vested interests are not promoting their own candidates for whatever development reasons they may be doing so. If you want to know the difference between myself and Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael and Labour, Fianna Fáil are just purporting more of the same and pandering to the European Central Bank and our European neighbours because they want to continue borrowing money. Fine Gael are doing anything that Fianna Fáil are not doing, and Labour haven't told us what they've decided they're going to do yet at all. And then we have Sinn Féin. The first thing I'd be doing is looking for electoral reform to ensure that the common man or woman would be in a position to stand for election. I am going to run this campaign with no money. I'm going to do it in cyberspace, and the reason I'm doing that is because I don't have any money. So it's a new way of using our power, and let's see how it works.
Day's gonna come when the water runs out and the well runs dry. Man's so dumb, fish can't swim and birds can't fly. What you gonna do when the crops won't grow and the sun won't shine and it's 10 below? I'm never gonna say that I told you so. Oh, the day's gonna come. Who you gonna follow?
Let's, for example, talk about the Donegal Southwest seat, for example. If you look at the heavy artillery that's been fired by the government at trying to ensure that Fianna Fáil won that seat, or they have used to try and avoid having the election, it shows the importance and the power of the independent in today's electoral process. So in theory, 3 people could hold the balance of power in the Irish government. Now, while in the bigger scale of things that's completely ridiculous, it is a fact. If we were to get 3 people who believed in the greater good as opposed to the party good, then I believe we could change the face of Irish society. If we want to move on to our current economic crisis, which is the big issue, we have a situation whereby we sold out to Europe in return for very large sums of money. The day of reckoning has come when we have to repay that money. Now, repaying that money in its own right is not necessarily the end of the world, but repaying the money and bailing out the banks and providing self-service within the public service as opposed to public service has created a situation where the greed of the employed class has left everybody, the unemployed and the self-employed, in a situation where we won't have any choice but to immigrate unless we do something about it. And I propose we do something about it and we say, let the pigs fly. Now, you could say to yourself, what and under God is she on about talking about flying pigs? But the flying pigs is an initiative that I started up in Dunfanaghy some weeks ago, where we set up a flying pig market in the Carrickvale Hotel. The idea behind the market was that local people could use their genius and creativity to bring products that they had made for selling in the local economy. It also created an outlet for people to socialise and people to discuss the situation they find themselves in and to improve the local economy generally. Now, this has been a very successful initiative, but apart from that, it's part of a far bigger thought process that I have than a local indoor market, although if we take it on a smaller level, the local indoor market is the basis on which I believe the future of Ireland can be saved. The flying pigs being Portugal, Italy, Greece, Ireland and Spain has created a very interesting dilemma for the European Central Bank and the Germans, who, as we all know, are in the Department of Finance at the moment, telling us how we are going to get ourselves out of this mess. Their only concept of the mess is that we've got to repay the very large sums of money to them. But let's not forget that the issue of the big sums of money is us bailing out the bankers, which there's no point in us talking about doing it because we've already done it, but the question is, at what point are we going to stop and say one bank would be enough for us and stop borrowing money that we can't afford to repay, and on top of that come up with some kind of a coherent policy that allows us to maintain our sovereignty, which as of the last 4 weeks we certainly don't have.
Day's gonna come when the world we know is gonna make us pay all the debt we owe. What a crime, what a sin, what a mess she's in. Oh, the day's gonna come. And the night's so dark it'll scare the brave, and the wind's so cold it'll chill the grave. And the master working for the slave, the day's gonna come. I see a day when the whole world falls down on his knees, praying and a begging and